AJ versus Ngannou. When you heard the news that that was going to be the fight to close out Riyadh's season, Spence, what did you think?
Going off the back of Ngannou's performance against Tyson Fury, I like that fight. I like it. I think that Francis Ngannou proved that he can compete with the top-level heavyweights out there right now. You know, forget what Tyson Fury and the condition that he was in and whether he took it too lightly or not. Francis Ngannou went in there and he had a game plan and he delivered it. And I think that what we found out is, one, he can take a shot. You know, two, technically he's quite good. You know, and, you know, he was landing the big bombs. And you can guarantee that he will feel that Anthony Joshua's weakness is probably around his chin and his ability to take a shot. And I think that's, you know, we've heard him talking about that in other interviews. And he feels that he wants to get in there, get up close, get rough, and try and land those big bombs. And one thing we know is he can whack. So it's like, it's an interesting fight. I like it. What about you?
Yeah, I think it makes an awful amount of sense, mate. And the reason why it makes an awful amount of sense is because of what happened in the fight between Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou. Let's be dead straight about it, right? The heavyweight champion of the world, Tyson Fury, fighting a guy on his boxing debut was madness. It was bonkers. But we understand why it all came about. A few quid, eyeballs, crossovers. We're living in a different time now, aren't we? If Saudi Arabia wants something, Saudi Arabia are highly likely to be able to get something. So we ended up getting this fight play out. Now, I am in the camp that Tyson Fury didn't take it seriously.
Sure.
Didn't train properly. Rocked up, even booked another date on December 23rd to have a go with Alexander Usyk. Now, that's a proper fight, which we're going to get on February 17th. That didn't materialise because of what happened in the fight with Francis Ngannou. I look at that fight and I think to myself, the worst version that I've seen recently of Tyson Fury still managed to get a decision against the best version in a boxing ring that we've seen of Francis Ngannou. You're right in what you're saying. He came out, he had a wonderful jab, he held his form really well, switched stances great, looked great as a southpaw, countering fantastic, off the back foot, very patient, loads of things that nobody on the planet has the receipt for pre-fight that Francis Ngannou was going to go and do. Everybody told me he had power. I knew he had power. I watch him all the time in the UFC. I know he's got power. Could he land the power? That was the big thing. Well, yeah, he did. And in my opinion, he did so because Tyson Fury took it lightly. Okay?
Yep.
The element of surprise is now gone. You have data. You have a blueprint. You've got at least a little bit of something to look at and go, I've seen him as a boxer now. I know what he does. There is absolutely no way whatsoever that Anthony Joshua takes Francis Ngannou lightly. He's going to train for him like he's the greatest fighter on the planet. And you're going to get a really good version of Anthony Joshua. You're going to get a good version of Francis Ngannou. Of course you are. But, and this is where I've got a bit of a gripe when people come at me saying, oh, you're being harsh on Francis Ngannou. You're underestimating Francis Ngannou. No, mate, I'm just using logic. Now, I might be wrong. Because for me, if Francis Ngannou's going to win this fight, he has to defy logic. That's what he's got to go and do. Because he's a fighter that's had one professional fight and he lost it. Whether you think he won it or not, it's irrelevant. He lost the fight. Yes, he lost it to Tyson Fury, but it was the worst version of Tyson Fury. He has got to do something that makes no logical sense to me. He's fighting an Olympic gold medalist. He's fighting a two-time unified heavyweight world champion. If you think I'm being disrespectful to Francis Ngannou, you're being disrespectful to Anthony Joshua.
Listen,
we're talking about AJ.
Absolutely. Listen, this is where I'm at with it now. This is plain and simple. Fear factor. There was no fear factor when Tyson Fury boxed Francis Ngannou. Yeah, it was the unknown, going in there, but still a man coming from one discipline into our sport should not be able to do that to the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. And the reason he done that is because Tyson Fury, I think he undertrained as well, because you can look at his body shape and you see the way that he come in and whatnot and the way that he was and performing out in Saudi Arabia, you think, well, I've just got to turn up and win. And that's what you would expect. But the main thing was there was no fear factor. Now, Anthony Joshua's seen what Francis Ngannou is capable of. He's now looking at it and he go, now his mindset will be different.
Correct.
He knows he's in a fight. So he'll train like he's in a fight. He'll leave no stone unturned. He'll approach that fight. And that's why, I'm with you. I think that Anthony Joshua, and it looks good on Joshua then, doesn't it? We see what Francis Ngannou, push Tyson Fury the way that he pushed Tyson Fury. Anthony Joshua goes in there, gets the job done, does it in better style, and it creates that interest and gets that bubbling up again. Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, the fight that we've always talked about, that we thought we was never going to get, but now looks more realistic than ever.
Absolutely. The thing is, people will look at Ngannou dropping Fury, right? And they will dog on Fury for that situation. Fury still came through and won. And like I said, the worst version of him beat the best version of Ngannou. That's because Tyson Fury is naturally that talented as a boxer. He could wing it. He could do it on the fly and figure it out as he's going along without any real game plan. There will be a proper game from an Anthony Joshua point of view. This team up with Ben Davison, I really, really like. They will have seen things in that short period of time that they've seen on Francis Ngannou go, right, go and do this. He's obviously listening to Ben. He's obviously implementing the things because he's done it against Otto Wallin. And I think Anthony Joshua will go out there and I think he will get the statement that he needs. I think he's going to get, he's going to be able to steal this narrative, of which then, as you've just rightfully said, points us towards a fight that is absolutely 100% possible of making. Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua.
When you're talking legacies, eras, that fight has to happen. Two of the biggest names in the sport. It has to happen, you know, and I think that, you know, we need that fight. I think we'll get Tyson Fury back to his best against Alexander Usyk because that fear factor will be there. He knows he's got to train. He knows he's got to get his mind on the job. You know, and I think that we see that, and I think we get a great fight from Anthony Joshua. I think he delivers because he knows what he's going in against now. And then hopefully some point this year, we get the fight that everyone craves.
Now, on the fact that it is Francis Ngannou, let's just take a step back for a second, because still on paper, let's be dead honest about this, Olympic gold medalist, 2-time unified heavyweight world champion, been in 12 world title fights, he's been there, done it, got the T-shirt at the elite level of professional boxing, Anthony Joshua. He's fighting a guy that's had one fight and lost it, right? So on paper, anybody else that doesn't know anything about this sport, they come in and they look at that and they go, what's that? That's madness. That should never, ever be happening.
On paper, I don't think people would watch it.
So what is that, mate? That's absolute nonsense. Now, okay, just take a step back. Is there not a better option for Anthony Joshua to be fighting during in this Riyadh season closer in March? Well, it was supposed to be Deontay Wilder. He dropped the ball against Joseph Parker, who was absolutely sensational. Could Joseph Parker step in and fight Anthony Joshua? Well, we've already seen it. Okay, we've already seen it. Do we need to see it again? Maybe one more from Joseph Parker, and then we've got a realistic conversation about him dancing again with Anthony Joshua. Okay, so what about Filip Hrgović? Well, yeah, that makes sense. If there's a world title on the line, IBF can't confirm that there's going to be an IBF title on the line. So what's the point in doing that? Well, let's do Big Bang Zhang. Well, hang on a minute. We're talking about Anthony Joshua. With all due respect to him, does he need eliminators? Does he need to have an interim title to go and get himself back to the top table? No, he doesn't really, does he? Because if he's winning and he goes and steals the narrative of Francis Ngannou, who allegedly beat Tyson Fury, then all of a sudden he's got the narrative that propels him into the fight with Tyson Fury.
It's called a business. It's called a business, and you just explained it and broke it down perfectly. Zhale Zhang, why would you fight him unless there was a world title on the line and you had to fight him? You know, he's big, southpaw. They boxed in the Olympics, you know, back in 2012. Zhale Zhang had Anthony Joshua on the floor in that as well. Joshua won 15-10, I believe, in that fight in the quarterfinal. It was a tough fight. Why would you fight him unless there's the world title on the line? So, look, you look at the way the landscape is moving, and you're right in what you say about the Filip Hrgović situation. The IBF, I don't think, will be vacant by that time. That was the only time that fight was ever going to happen. And if the fight does happen, and I believe that happens next after Joshua comes through Ngannou. But from a business point of view, and from a visual point of view as well, I think it's something that, you know, from a commercial point of view, I'm actually intrigued to see the fight.
Yeah, but listen, you're a boxing hardcore, right? This is your life. This is your game. You know boxing, okay? If you just the real money in boxing is with the casual audience, the people that are sports fans, football fans, all that type of thing, that come for the big ones, and they come for the heavyweights. That's what they come for, right? All they will see is that guy put Tyson Fury on his backside. That's it. They don't want to know about the training. They don't want to know about X, Y, and Z. They saw the visuals of a fight that played out, and that fella who's never boxed before, put him on his bum. Right. Put him in with AJ then.
Yeah.
And if AJ batters him, which is a real possibility that he could do, then all of a sudden, AJ's back. Well, look what AJ did to this fella. Right, let's get him in with Tyson Fury. And that's it.
And the crossover as well, Francis Ngannou in his own discipline, UFC, is absolutely huge. I was speaking to a guy about this fight when Francis Ngannou was made with Tyson Fury. I was speaking to a guy, the casual that you're talking about. We're speaking, and I said, yeah, silly fight, innit? He went, yeah, silly. He said, why would Tyson Fury get in with Francis Ngannou? I went, no, I'm talking the other way, mate. I went, they're getting, but he couldn't work it out. He's going, he'll murder him. He says it's a one-sided fight. I went, no, but he's coming into Tyson's discipline. Tyson's not going into, but he still couldn't work it out. He was the casual fan you're talking about. So look, there'll be a huge interest in it.
Now listen, just to finish this off, I'm not completely writing Francis Ngannou off. He's proven that he can hold his form.
Yeah.
He's got a good style about him. He's a lot better of a boxer than anybody could even equate him for. And he's developing. He's getting better. He's obviously gone away and worked even further. And he has the power. If you've got the equaliser in this game, you have half a chance.
And he's got the technical ability. I mean, anyone that thinks this is a one-sided fight needs to give their head a wobble, because it's not a one-sided fight. I think Francis Ngannou, yes, he is 0-1, but he's proven. And he's proven against the best. What I'm saying is...
To an extent. To an extent.
Listen, that was a close fight.
Yeah, listen, I'm on record saying that I thought he won it.
That's what I'm saying. So, all right, I know it was not the Tyson Fury that we know, and it's not the Tyson Fury we're going to see against Alexander Usyk, but Francis Ngannou went in there and he put up a shot fight. So I'm going, listen, this has, he's got the technical ability to cause Joshua some problems. It's going to be an interesting fight because, like you say, he's got the old money shot.